What else? Oh, the residency law. Yeah, they're going to discuss that tonight. Going to be a public hearing, then they're going to vote on it. The public hearing is what they call perfunctory. It's just there for appearance sake, not going to affect the votes. As I've said, it isn't that I'm looking to force somebody to move into Watertown. It's not meant to be punitive. You should want to live here. If you do those jobs, you should want to live there. Here. I know I said, well, these got the rights, and so he wants to be part of the Lowville community, so what, and all of that. And Councilman Olney says, well, he does, I like the guy. We can't find anybody else, and we got to change. What they're doing is passing a local law that takes 3 individuals by current title and grants them exemptions from residency, the DPW, the city engineer, and the city manager. Now, what they failed to do, even if they pass this thing, they still have a contract with the city manager that requires that, but they've decided unilaterally not to enforce it. I don't know why you would sign a contract with the city council, because they don't enforce things. Yeah, that's why you sign a contract, so that you have in control the situation, right? So I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Well, I do know what's going to happen. Dr. Kimball will vote yes, of course. And his new buddy, Cliff Olney, will join him. And then we come to the other two. Now, if Ruggiero votes yes, which I think she will, then the mayor and Schoen can vote no, and it doesn't mean anything, so they get a freebie. Now, if Ms. Ruggiero throws a wrench into it all by voting no, then either the mayor or Schoen has to vote yes to pass it. And I suspect that would fall to the mayor. So one way or the other, it'll pass. But, well, it was a News Junkie poll, 81%. It's not an 80-20 issue, it's an 81-19 issue. And again, it's not punitive. It's not meant, we're going to make you live here just like those homeless people. No, it's meant to say, I want people who want to live in the city if they want those jobs. And these jobs are not, we sit there and we worry about whether a councilman or a mayor lives in the city or what they do, and we pay them $12,000 or $16,000 a year or something. Ooh, that's a lot. And, these other people, what's the city manager? When you count in all the benefits, but just the salary's $165, I think, and then the police chief is like $145, and the fire chief's $135, and, these things are right up there, and if you're going to make that kind of money, why don't you now live in town, or at least in the county? Yeah. Then they'll hire somebody from Onondaga County, and they'll pass another local law saying, well, not you. You have to live in the county or up to 2 counties away, or something like that, or 3 counties, or whatever that is. Yeah. Why can't we find it? Isn't there a lawyer in this area who wants a $400,000 a year job? Yeah. God. It's amazing. It's amazing. 755-1240, the phone number. Well, if you're going to speak at the public hearing tonight, give us a call and speak your piece here. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead now. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Mayor, the city manager has to live in the city. It's in the charter of Watertown, I believe.
It's also in the contract that he and the city council signed.
So what's the problem?
They don't want. He doesn't want to.
That's his problem. Find somebody else. You want to give up that job? Go ahead. Plenty of people will take the job. Look at the fire department.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Did you see the numbers on the fire department?
No.
Nobody lives in the city. What if there's an emergency in the wintertime? They going to travel through a snowstorm to get into the workplace?
No.
59 firemen out of, 72 live outside the city.
Wow.
Police, 62 out of 70 live outside the city.
Wow.
The fire chief lives outside the city.
Wow.
The police chief lives outside the city. We got a city manager setting our budget with an 18% tax hike, and he doesn't live here. Do you think maybe some things would change if he had to help pay some of these taxes in Watertown?
I just got my tax bill in the mail over the weekend.
I didn't open mine yet. I don't want to see it right now on July 4th. Happy holiday. Here's your tax bill. Yeah, but it's been that way all the time. It's in the charter.
Doesn't matter. They live by their own.
The folks to keep it on the books, man.
As long as they look at.
If you're going to be the city manager, or don't take the job.
As long as they got people.
Simple as that.
They got people like Olney on the board and say, well, we can't find anybody else. Well, they should want to live here.
I don't buy that. Do you?
Why don't we buy a house for the city, have an official residence? You know, since we deified the office or whatever, I mean.
Well, I think you were a little low on the salary there, Mayor. I think he makes more than 160 G's a year.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of perks in a lot of these contracts. But the firemen living outside.
You know, they'll sit there and give themselves $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 raises every year.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you, if somebody said, oh, let's raise Mayor Pierce up to $20,000, there'd be screaming on this talk show and on the internet and everything else, and that stupid meme page would be all over it.
Oh, look at the school board. They voted Mr. Schmeiko a $10,000 raise.
And a vehicle. He's got a Tahoe.
$190,000 a year as a school superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Does he need a pay raise to live in Watertown? I don't even know if he lives in Watertown. You can't get him to come on this show.
Yeah, I don't know where he lives.
No way he'd come on this show.
Oh, no.
You know?
No,
$10,000 raise. Everybody voted for it on the school board.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. A couple other things, Mayor, on the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
They got the door locked to the bathrooms from the outside. They want you to go through the office to get to the bathrooms. Why? Why is the door locked? When the pool is open, what's the problem?
God, I don't know.
They want you to go through the office to get to the men's room. And you can't use the old bathroom because they got the john wide open, not boxed in, like a normal toilet would be.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get in the other day. The kid told me to get out. He was doing his business. I said, my God, why is that wide open?
You got me. Is that the old?
About that for years, but nothing's happened there.
Is it the old bathhouse?
Yeah, if you want to go well, I don't want to get into it, but you know what I mean, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
You're out in the open. If somebody comes in on you, it's wide open. It's not boxed.
I didn't even know you could go in there anymore.
Pardon me?
I didn't know you could go in there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get in there. You can't get into the new bathroom from the outside. They got the darn door locked for some reason.
Jeez.
They want you to go through the office.
They want you to pay to go to the bathroom.
I don't know what it's about. I was hot that one day. I had to go to the bathroom, you know?
Well.
I went in the woods. Pops could have got arrested. You know, certain things a man can do that a woman can't do in public.
That's what I hear.
That's one of them. You know, if you have to, you know what I mean, Mayor.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Boy, that burned me up.
Mm-hmm.
A new bathroom, beautiful bathroom, very well taken care of. But there's a door there for a reason. And why it's locked, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, no one other thing. The big, beautiful bill got through, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Great news for everybody.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, people sitting on your couch, you're going to have a little problem, people.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to work a little bit to earn money. We've been sending you people for years by doing there's nothing wrong physically. They just don't want to work.
That's for sure.
You know, we a lot of fraud in Medicaid. That's what we're looking at. We're not looking at people in a nursing home, all right?
I gotcha.
Fraud is all over the place on these programs.
Where's the local news talking about what the impact is on the tourism industry on all this no-tip stuff?
No, they didn't mention it.
They don't cover local news anymore.
Didn't mention it at all.
The Walmart, the power was out all day yesterday. That affects a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't know about that Kinney story, whether that's true or not, Mayor.
That is so woke.
I don't think that's true. Do you?
It's on News Junkie.
Boy, I don't know. That don't sound right. I can't comment. I have a lot of nice people down there.
Oh, here's another comment somebody wrote in. It gives the pharmacists at Kinney's a well-deserved break without an interruption. You know, those people make as much as the city manager.
Yeah. I've never heard of that. I worked in grocery industry. We never shut down for lunch. You just maneuvered people around, you know.
Yeah, it's called management.
You could get it. It wasn't a big deal, most people. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't buy that. I don't know.
I don't know. I just know what I read on the internet.
Yeah, this doesn't sound right to me, Mayor.
Okay, but it was on News Junkie, so.
Okay, Mayor.
All right, thanks a lot. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, Mayor, how you doing today?
Good. What's up?
Boy, you're covering a lot quick. Hey, I can tell you right now that the Walgreens on right on Coffee Street, on Arsenal Street would be the competition with the Kinney's around the area. They only have one pharmacist for the whole store all the time, which is not legal, but they can't get the help.
Mm-hmm.
So things that we used to step back and say, hey, this isn't proper, this isn't legal, has changed since COVID. And that's into the city.
On the other hand, I mean, you should be able to go to the counter and pick up your script or something. If the pharmacist takes a lunch break, as long as they wash.
And I'll tell you another little story. When Walmart first came to New York State, there was a law that if you had the assumed value of a pharmacy in your store, or you stayed at pharmacy, that pharmacy had to be open the whole time the store was open. But when Walmart came to town, and not just in town, but came to the state, they just said, nah, we don't do that. We're not going to do that. And when the state tried to step in and wanted to, talk to them about it, they had those people removed from the property under violation and said, we only deal on a federal level. We don't deal with state level. If you're here again not shopping, you're trespassing. And they enforced it until eventually they had to pay fines, and things were changed around to where you don't have to have a pharmacist there the whole time you're open. It doesn't have to be on holidays if you're open on holidays. It doesn't have to be overnight if you're a supermarket that's open overnight. So it shifted the value. But in the meantime, Walmart was able to not have all those pharmacy hours going and kill the competition. That being said, it's kind of drifted down and out where we just can't get help. And even though a pharmacist is a professional, well-paid position, it's a position that takes a whole lot of college, and it doesn't pay in comparison to what it used to when minimum wage was different. So things have changed. That being said, same thing with the city. The city departments, the fire departments, they don't pay in comparison to what they used to be in the competition. And as soon as you say now, if this last caller was right, say 70% of the fire department don't live in the city, you're never going to get a hand in that again, because without even having a union, they can just say, no, majority is spoken.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to really step back and decide that Watertown isn't just the city, it's the hub of the greater Watertown area. That's all that it is. And we should be pedaling the best we can backwards to try to get these communities that are around the city that are doing better, that are sought out to live in, to be a part of the greater Watertown area. We are doing that.
They don't want to for obvious reasons. They want to get the milk without buying the cow.
Well, our population, rumor is the next count's going to be below 20,000 for the first time.
Well, that may be, but you want to have a situation, because these people who we're talking about made a conscious choice to apply for the job A, and that they didn't want to live in the city B. Now, you can say you can't make a move, or my wife doesn't want to move, or I got a nice house, or whatever, but you made a conscious decision to seek out that particular position, and you signed a contract to that effect. Now, maybe contracts don't mean anything. I don't know. I don't know about your business.
I saw a news jump this morning, and I watched a little bit of the last council meeting where the ex-fire chief spoke up, and he had to move back into the city, and he thought it was a good idea, and he thought all the firefighters should live in the city because, like your last caller said, what if there's an emergency? But the problem is we don't have enough people to fill the positions anymore. COVID changed everything. People just don't want to work. And this leaping of the minimum wage to where, some states are still $7 an hour, and we in New York are $15. It's hard to pay someone double minimum wage as it is, and you have to pay a fireman or something like that more than that. And then if you don't, how can you dictate what you want them to do? I just don't understand it.
Right.
You can't dictate when you're not paying it that well. You do realize right now the city can't get enough employees.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't do it. We aren't competitive enough to pay enough, so we just aren't going to get it. We should be happy with all the basically volunteer council and mayor that we have and that we get, and we still get in that situation, because there's going to be a amount of time when someone just doesn't want to do that anymore, and we get bad people. Looks like we got a pretty good crew coming now, but we've had bad people in the past and with bad people in the future.
Right.
Trying to limit where someone lives is almost a thing of the past. If you let someone get away with it once, one person does it, it trickles down to the other, because you can't play favorites one over another.
We do that all the time. We do it all the time. Hey, listen, I got to run, okay? All right, thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mayor. I just wanted to call to let that one caller know what you said about Kenny's is true. I went through the drive-thru this morning, and they got a sign on the window saying they're going to be closed from 1 to 1:30. So
Jeez.
I was just calling just to confirm that for you.
Why don't they close the whole store so you can't get Natty Daddy from 1 to 1:30 too?
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was just a pharmacy. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You know that, sir.
All right.
You have a good day.
Bye now.